Welcome back to the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship presented by Rady's Children's Hospital. Championship bracket play between Jamaica and Italy, and we said off the top, this is going to be a fun one. The Italians, second in the tournament with 60 goals, only trailing Japan. But at the other end, the defense of Jamaica is one of the best in the entire tournament. Both these teams laden with NCAA stars and players currently. Even Stone Evans, a 17-year-old high schooler from Connecticut. This kid is something special if this is your first time seeing the Jamaican Rasta boys. My name's Teddy Jenner. If you want to get at me on Twitter, let me know where you're watching from, who you're cheering for, maybe some interesting tidbits and factoids about any of these players. Get at me on Twitter at Teddy Jenner. Your starting goaltenders for Jamaica will be Nate McPeak from right down the road in Chula Vista, California. Went to Eastlake High School, and boy, has he been something special. 4.5 goals against average and a 59.1 save percentage. At the other end, Matt DeLuca out of the University of Delaware plays for the Water Dogs in the PLL. He too has been outstanding in this tournament and takes up a lot of cage, ranging around the 6'4" mark. So we are set to go, and this will be a highly contested face-off battle, as well as Will Vitelli and Owen Stevenson will be battling all game long at the dot, two of the best in this tournament. Here comes the Jamaican team. Danilo Parkinson runs through his check. Parkinson in the all-black 22 with green stripes. Far side, Mark Darden. Minichiello. Kari Sears will play through the attack line, number 8. He's got 8 goals, including 6 caused turnovers. The Jamaicans are third in the tournament with 23 caused turnovers. It's not just the defenders doing the work, getting the ball back for Jamaica. Parkinson will go to Minichiello. Plays for the Philadelphia Wings in the National Lacrosse League. Out of Toronto, Ontario, went to the University of Windsor. Isaac Newland. Newland gets inside. That shot goes wide. Newland had 4 of the 5 Jamaica goals in their tournament opening win against Germany, where they won 5-3 in a highly defensive battle. And they've slowly started to get their feet underneath them. Here's Newland, spins underneath, bounce shot, just goes wide, backed up by Stone Evans. Evans inside, Sears shoots and scores! Kari Sears, stay hot, young man. And the Jamaicans out to a 1-0 lead as the man we just talked about, Kari Sears, finds his way into the middle and gets his 9th of the tournament. Reset by Stone Evans, and then just a little no-look inside to Sears. With his parents in town, Kari Sears scores the opening goal out of Columbus, Ohio. Goes to UMass Lowell. And he had 5 in the game against Switzerland. So they've gotten some good goal scoring from 2 main players. Now Vitelli running off the draw, flag down. And he got an early EMO opportunity here for Team Italy. Vitelli has won 57% of his draws. That is one of the tops in the entire tournament, 51 of 64. He's been completely dominant. University of Bologna and Quinnipiac University. The majority of this Italian team are Italian-born. They do have a handful of American passport holders. Here come the Italians with the man-up opportunity, and that goes off the stick of Christian Trasolini. And out of place when unforced error on the EMO. And Jamaica should be able to clear this one with no issues whatsoever. They are incredibly athletic out the back end. But just as soon as I say that, they turn it over. AJ Knox unable to handle the pass. Here comes Italy. Quickly back the other way. Luca Regallo on the far side. Regallo at X. Got Goran Murray hung up. Tries to drive goal line extended. Slide comes from Diallo shot. Goes wide on the far side. A jump shot there for Magallo. And nicely backed up by Stephen Pelliccioni. Pelliccioni watched by Tony Diallo. Up top, Sajazi. Sajazi, 8 goals, 4 assists for the Italians. He's been a bright spot through them as they continue to put up the numbers in the group play. 13, 13, 15, and 19 goals, 4 and 4 pool games. Running for Jamaica and getting across the line. And the Rastas will settle in. Here's Josh McLaughlin. Turn it back, give it to Michael Lawrence. Check that 23 is AJ Knox. Lawrence wears 21. Knox will flip. And now back to McLaughlin. Isaac Newland will carry high out of Sleepy Hollow, New York, a High Point University Panther. Split dodge. Knox. Lawrence, bouncer. Takes a deflection wide off DeLuca. No shot clock. So as much time as you want in the offensive set. Here's Stone Evans. Check that, that's Kari Sears, 8. Bit of a far vantage point here from our broadcast location at Rady Field on the campus of San Diego State University. So we're more in what is currently the Jamaican defensive end than we are towards midfield. Bounce shot, saved DeLuca. And Evans will follow this one right to the line and pick it up, keep it in play. Knox. Back to Evans. Has a long pole in the far wing. Good job by the Italians to keep the pole with him. You want to make sure Bobby Russo is on Stone Evans as much as possible, and that will be a heck of a matchup to watch here tonight. 12 white versus 12 in black. Shot from the outside, easily handled by DeLuca. Quickly in transition come the Italians. Jeff Traynor, one of the few PLL stars on this team. Traynor shot, short side, and a nice save by Nate McPeak. First time he's been challenged here tonight. Quickly outlets the ball to Rob Kelly. Kelly to center. Near side wing, Josh McLaughlin. He's got Traynor on his back hip. Skips it to Evans. Power move, jump shot, scores! Kari Sears, 2 in the game, and Jamaica quickly out front. A great job in transition by Rob Kelly, getting it up from the pass from Nate McPeak, swings it to McLaughlin, and he sees a wide open Kari Sears on the far wing. He finds him in Sears. You know what? I got this. 3 steps to the middle, plants his left leg in an overhand jump shot. Beats DeLuca low corner. And quickly, Owen Stevenson wins the draw, spins away from trouble, and gives it off to number 22, Danilo Parkinson, who spins away from his man. Nice move to get away from Russo. Newland likes to do a lot of work on the one-on-one ISO. Very athletic, big, tall, rangy man. But he'll decide to give it off to number 11, Tanner Sims. Sims' first touch of the game. Gives it off to Marcus Minichiello. Father's Jamaican, mother's from Italy. So split family ties here in this game. Darden on the far side, plants his feet, back to Minichiello. Thought about it, takes it, and just whizzed it wide the net of DeLuca. And with under 8 to go, that'll take us to our first TV timeout. Kari Sears has a pair for Jamaica. They're out to an early lead, 2-0, in the 7 versus 10 championship bracket playoff game. Join us back here from San Diego on ESPN. There's a look at number 22 for Italy, John Piatelli. The player pool in the PLL, but a member of the Albany Firewolves in the National Lacrosse League, where he was part of the all-rookie team this past winter. And he himself is having a great tournament. 11 goals, 10 assists for Piatelli. And he's been a huge spark for, again, the number 2 scoring team during group play, as they put up 60 in 4 games. Here's Darden. Speaking of the PLL, he's a ticket rep for the PLL, so I'm sure they're watching back at the home office. Minichiello, one-on-one with Pancani. Sims. Newland. Newland will hold on to it and give it back to Sims. Now up top, I believe that's number 0, Clifford Kirker. Minichiello. Outside shot handled there by DeLuca. And actually that was 8, Kari Sears. Tough to see some of these green numbers on these black jerseys from this far away. Get that cleaned up as this game goes on. Now the Italians looking for their first of the game. Christian Trasolini will hold on as his team will make some changes out of New Hyde Park, New York. Goes to Rutgers University. Trasolini into the corner. Piatelli, bounce shot and a goal. Joseph Sajazi, his 9th of the tournament. And the Italians are on the board with a running 5 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. Great ball movement by the Italians as they get the rotation of the defense. And a nice extra look to Sajazi underneath. And he bounced it far side on McPeak. And some life for the Italians. Back to the face-off dot we go. Vitelli. And Stevenson, number 5. Vitelli wins it. He'll roll it along the ground. And it'll be battled there by Christian Cuccinello. And Cuccinello, one of the PLL stars in this tournament. He's in the PLL player pool. Played with the Cannons back in 2022. 14 goals, 22 assists in 4 games. He was a Turton Award nominee when he was at Villanova, along with his teammate Harrison Delafera. Jump shot in the corner by Sajazi, goes wide, loose ball on the turf. McPeak out of his cage finds it, and now he's got to try to find somewhere to pass to. He's got a man all the way up the field. This is number 0, Clifford Kirker. Long legs running in transition. Newland tucks it, gets underneath, had a flip back to Kirker, doesn't go there. But he'll settle up, and now Kirker to Michael Lawrence. As the Jamaicans and Italians both make changes here. Again, no shot clock, but also no advancement clock either, so you can stand with it anywhere on the field for as long as you like. Here's Evan Redwood now. Redwood scored a goal in the 3rd game for the Jamaicans in this tournament against Poland. Evans at X, watched by Bobby Russo. Evans, power move, switches to his right hand, trying to get underneath. Good defense by Russo. Fly comes in, Evans scores! Oh, they wave it off for crease. Excellent solo effort by Stone Evans, but they're going to say he's in the crease. No goal. But I believe it'll be a 30-second technical on the hold. Watch this work by Stone Evans. Powers his man to the block, gets inside, diving, reverse backhand. But they'll say he was in the crease. Keep this a 2-1 game. Official timeout, so the clock does stop. That's, other than a TV timeout, only time the clock will stop other than the final 30 seconds of the 1st through 3rd and final minute of the 4th. Here's the hot stick of Kari Sears. Sears at X. Jamaicans run a little set offense here with the EMO. Sears fakes the pass and now moves it up to Redwood. AJ Knox. They actually, looks like they picked up the flag, so no wonder the Jamaicans are so composed here on the field. They're not a man up like I thought. I'm not sure why they took the flag away. Evans splits. He's got a short stick on him. He'll move it up top to Redwood. Nice handle there by Evan Redwood, or that was going to be back over. Far side swing. Jamaicans driving down the left-hand side as they do on the roads in Kingston. Evans again with a short stick matchup. This time it's Jeff Trainer one-on-one with Stone Evans. Evans to the 45, swings through X. Isaac Newland. Redwood, again a nice handle by Redwood. Stick very sharp off and early here. Roll back. Bounce shot goes wide. And early, this Jamaican team is getting good looks on Matt DeLuca. And another tough bounce pass. I don't know if Evan Redwood upset somebody in the warm-up. They're throwing up some tough passes here in the opening quarter. There's Josh McLaughlin. Splits, try to go to his right side. He does. Pushed there by Trainer. Good defense by Jeff Trainer. As we play the final 80 seconds of the opening quarter here in the 7 versus 10 championship bracket game. Both these teams finished with perfect 4-0 records. Italy in Pool E, Jamaica in Group D. And the Jamaicans might just try to be holding here for a final shot. Or a real good matchup underneath. Jump shot deflected. Good defense by Trainer again. And now he's going to run onto this one up ahead. Transition for the Italians. Jamaica's back with Evan Redwood, but Trainer wants it. Takes it, scores. I was in. I don't know if we're going to be able to get a replay of that, but that looked in from me. That looked like it went right in the corner, but the refs say no goal, and no one reacted to it. There's De La Fera. Through X. Christian Cuccinello. Cuccinello watched there by Goran Murray. Inside feed. Doesn't connect with Sajese. Loose ball on the turf. Who's going to come away with it? 3 Italians, 3 Jamaicans. Walk into a bar. Tell me if you heard that joke before. And then a nice overhead check by Cuccinello to dispossess Tony Diallo. 7 seconds. Got to go. Inside feed. Kicked aside nicely by McPeak. And I don't think the Italians will be able to get this one off, and they won't. But what an opening 15 here in this game. Let's just look at this shot from Jeff Trainer. Down the alley. Takes it. And I don't know. You tell me. I see net moving. Should it be 2-2 or 2-1? We'll come back. It is 2-1. Jamaica leading Italy in the 2023 World Lacrosse Championships, presented by Rady Children's Hospital from San Diego on ESPN. Back to San Diego, California for the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championships. I'm being told by the Boo Birds up here on the upper deck of Rady Field that that goal or that shot by Jeff Trainer didn't go in. We're all talking physics over here, but I still think it went in. 2-1 is your score. Jamaican leading Italy. Got to give a shout out to Evan Redwood's family watching back home. His wife Emily and adorable daughter Ella, the oldest guy on the team, but still running around with the young guys and doing an excellent job. So thank you for watching back home. And we got a holding 30-second technical coming on the Italians. So free clear here for Jamaica, and they'll get their first EMO opportunity of the afternoon. It is a hot one here in San Diego. Hope you're enjoying wherever you are in some air conditioning. As the temperatures and the action continue to rise, I can see the San Diego State Aquaplex off in the distance. I could really go for a dip in that after this one. But tons of lacrosse going on here on the campus of San Diego State University today. This is one of the few marquee matchups in the playoff round. Haudenosaunee, Hong Kong coming up at 7 o'clock right behind our broadcast position. Here's Kari Sears. Newland. Mark Darden. Shot, low to high, puts it through the uprights. And out of play. Penalty released. Italian defender running back into the fray. Danilo Parkinson gets it back from Stone Evans. Kari Sears, again with a short stick matchup, this time being watched by David Abbott. Sears plants, switches hands, and gives to Stone Evans. Evans driving through goal line extended, turned back nicely by the defense of Stephen Pelliccioni. Evans again gets inside and he scores! We have been talking about this young man all tournament long, and that is a picture-perfect display of what he can do on a lacrosse field. 17 years old, still a year in high school, goes one side left, comes back, resets himself, takes Pelliccioni again, gets topside, avoids the stick check and stings it far side on Matt DeLuca. And it's 3-1 Jamaica as Stone Evans gets his third of the tournament. And he joins Kari Sears in the goal column here this afternoon. The Italians haven't found themselves down in too many games in this tournament. It will be interesting to see how they handle a little adversity here. Vitelli flips it up to the long pole off the face-off. That's Zach Cole, and a good job by Cole to find that loose ball. And timeout, Italy. The winner of this game gets Canada, and I would love to see this young man going up against some of the Canadian defenders. 17 years old, still a year left in high school, but composure beyond his years. He realizes the first take's not there, and then goes again, confident in his abilities, and gets high above Pelliccioni. And man, this kid is going to be something special. If he just continues to develop, we are going to be hearing his name for a long time. A verbal commit to the Air Force, a pleasant young man to speak to, and an absolute treat to enjoy watching play the Creators game here at the World Games. He played some U.S. indoor lacrosse. He wants to go up and play box in Canada. I believe he mentioned to me maybe going up and playing for Six Nations in the Canadian Summer Loop, playing junior ball up there. That would be a huge boost to his skill set because he already looks like a box player with how he's built and how he handles himself and walks around and moves around on the field. And I will be following along this young man's career till the end because we will hear his name a lot, and he wants to get better and he wants to improve, and he's going to do some amazing things. Here's the Italians, Gabriel Serbu, driving with his right hand, puts it back in his left, runs it through X. Cuccinello to the far side. Vitelli. Sagizi. Flag down. Sagizi spins away from his man, gets inside and he scores. What a dirty dangle from Joseph Sagizi, his second. And that's a big goal. Get the Italians right back in this game. Puts his man in the spin cycle. Watch this. Hezzy, see you later, bye. And he goes short side high on Nate McPeak. A fantastic solo effort from Joseph Sagizi. St. James, New York, goes to Sacred Heart University. And proudly wearing the red, white, and green of the Italians. 10:50 remaining here in the second quarter. Vitelli wins the draw cleanly. Him and Owen Stevenson have been doing battle this afternoon quite expertly against each other. Vitelli running. Actually, I believe that was Zach Cole taking that draw, 27. And so the Italians will make some changes. As they bring in number 10, Harrison Delafera. Teammate with Cuccinello at Villanova. Delafera. Watched there by Rob Kelly. Delafera all the way back across the top. Takes a chop on the back hip. keeps his feet moving, and is able to skip it through X. Sajazi. Piatelli. Likes his short stick matchup. Check that, a long pull with Channing Thomas. Now he's got the short stick. Piatelli through X. Driving, diving, save McPeak out of play. And backing up was the Italians. And Zach Cole will play possum and fake sprinting off, as he's watched there by Owen Stevenson. The two draw guys wanting to exchange for numbers. And the Jamaicans do so, as do the Italians. And the Italians almost throw it away. Serbu. Leaves it for Vitelli. Vitelli down the angle shot, turned aside by McPeak. Loose ball in the Jamaican zone. Still free. Diallo has it, and he's able to flip it back to McPeak, who's under some trouble. He tries the Lyle Thompson behind his legs, and then he falls to the turf. Push coming on Italy. One thing these Jamaicans are known for is the flair that they have, and that was a goaltender trying to go one hand behind his back to the other to avoid the check. Didn't exactly work out, but he got the push and possession, so in the end, no harm, no foul. My name's Teddy Jenner. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to let me know where you're watching from, who you're cheered for, or how you're doing on this fine day, find me on Twitter at Teddy Jenner. There's AJ Knox. Josh McLaughlin. McLaughlin being watched by Pancani. Pancani played in the 2018 Worlds out of Como, goes to the Milwaukee School of Engineering. Now Newland on the far side. Under 8 to play here in the second quarter. Newland driving to the center, gets around his man, loses footing, swim move inside. Isaac Newland! Almost lost his footing. Kept going and buries. It's 4-2 Jamaica. Isaac Newland thought he had nowhere to go, but his energy and momentum goes forward right to the net. And Newland buries to make it 4-2 here from San Diego. It's the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championships on ESPN. Sun is shining, people enjoying the weather here in San Diego, California, as you're watching the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship, sponsored by Rady Children's Hospital, the largest children's hospital on the West Coast, ranked among the 10 best children's hospitals in the nation. Latest goal coming from Isaac Newland, his 6th of the tournament. And it puts Jamaica back up a pair of goals. 7:42 remaining here in the second quarter. We'll go running time all the way to the final 30 seconds unless there is an official's timeout. Want to get at me on Twitter, at Teddy Jenner. Some good interactions with everybody tuning in, watching this game from San Diego to Kingston to Rome. Winning the draw is Zach Cole. Loses footing to the turf. Heavily pressured there by Danilo Parkinson. And the powerful lefty will run. Gives it off to Kari Sears right underneath us. He's got a pair here tonight. Singles coming from Stone Evans and Isaac Newland. Italian goals, a pair from Joseph Sajazi. Here's Marcus Minichiello. Stone Evans. Sears. Tanner Sims now laid off the bench in a change. Sims being watched there by Pancani, one of the Italian captains. Evans. Powering underneath, double comes, slips through, but he loses possession. Oh, and somehow the Jamaicans were able to call a timeout before that ball popped free. That must have been the split-second timing there to call that timeout by Coach Mark Wilson. The Jamaicans finished 13th in 2018. This is just their second trip to the World Lacrosse Men's Championships. The Italians finished 16th in 2018. This is their fifth. Their best appearance was 2006, where they finished 10th. We talked about Christian Cucinello, who's playing in his second championship for Italy. Played 4 seasons in the PLL at Villanova. He was a Twartzen Award nominee. And during the 2018 Men's Championship, he had 13 goals and 10 assists, and then added another 17 as Italy qualified 4th in the European Lacrosse Federation. And they need to get him going here in this lacrosse game. He's heavily watched by the three-headed monster of Channing Thomas, Tony Diallo, and Goran Murray. One of the best trios of long poles in the entire tournament. And we talk and wax poetically about Stone Evans, but I have been thoroughly impressed with Tony Diallo out of University of Maryland, Baltimore County, UMBC. He was one of their top CTO men during the latest college season. Back to live action, 6.5 to go here in the second. Minichiello being watched there by Trainer. Now he'll back up and restart his dodge. Minichiello goes strong right, carries to the middle. Good defense there by Trainer. Flag comes. And Trainer nor the Italian coaching staff liked the call, but a 30-second technical on the hold. And Jamaica will have a chance to extend the lead to 3 for the biggest lead of this game. It was 2-0 on back-to-back goals by Kari Sears. And then Jagazy and Stone Evans traded goals. And then the latest by Isaac Newland. So here come the Jamaicans. Sims to Evans. Newland. Kari Sears will set up as the topside quarterback. Sims. Darden. Kari Sears. Extending his Pancani on Sears. And the penalty is released, so no shots on target. Newland tucks it and then loses it on the reshoot. Tried to pull the string, but on the recoil, he bobbled it. And now the Italians, after killing off the hold, get a chance here on the clear with DeLuca. He comes near side. Bobby Russo stings it into the middle to number 15, Will Vitelli. And the Italians are across center. Under 5 minutes to play. Running is Cucinello. And he can't find an angle as Channing Thomas came out and shut him down, trying to power down that far left side. Split dodge from the wing. Skipped up top, Vitelli. He wants it. He takes it. Took a deflection. Good extended defense there by the Jamaicans. It might have been Jaheim Hawkins who got in the lane and got a piece of that shot, and it bounced with no harm towards Nate McPeak. In the middle, Goran Murray, the savvy vet. And then running through contact is A.J. Knox. Knox, watched closely by Goran Miloradic. Now Isaac Newland. Minichiello going to go for a change. He's got Serbu running with him. Now Kari Sears. There are some hot makes downfield level, so you might be able to hear the fans interacting as there's a heavy shot by Sears, and that hit Roberto Antonillo right in the face mask. And he's going to head off to the bench and get some treatment from the training staff. And it looks like an offside call coming as well. So the Italians are going to get charged for offside. And official timeout will stop the clock with 3:14 to go. They just want to make sure the field's set here. And got the injured player off. And now the Italians down a man. Last time Jamaica had the EMO opportunity, not a single shot on net. Here's Kari Sears. Knox through X with Stone Evans. Cutting was Redwood. Newland now. Back up top, Josh McLaughlin. Evans at X again. McLaughlin thought about it, and then the pass to Knox, and a little miscommunication there by the Rastas, and they will turn the ball over to the Italians, and this will be Steven Pelliccioni. Up ahead, Jeff Traynor. Matched up with double team, he loses possession. Ball still loose, takes contact right on the midline, and then an extra slash and two more, and then he spins away from the check from Josh McLaughlin and throws a skipping bouncer all the way to the far side. Cuccinello top center. The Italians are making changes as Jeff Traynor needs a drink of water and some fresh air. Cuccinello. Cuccinello splits. Watched there by Parkinson. Now X. Cuccinello gives it up top to Vitelli. Sorry, Trasolini, 15. 7 is Serbu. Gabriel Serbu, bouncer, can't connect with Cuccinelli. And the Italians run it out of play. As Cuccinello couldn't find the initial handle. And the pressure by the Jamaicans causes the turnover. Goran Murray will go bench side. And with speed through the midfield are the Jamaicans. And with 1:13 remaining, Jamaica will take a timeout. And what does Mark Wilson want to do in the final 73 seconds of this half? Up 2. We figured this would be a tightly contested game. And a lot of people were wondering how the Jamaican defense would handle this high-powered Italian offense. And so far, they've done a pretty good job of neutralizing them. Again, the trio of Thomas, Diallo, and Murray have been in the hands of Piatelli and Scarpello all game long and just not giving them any clear looks. It's been Sajesi who's been the active man offensively with the pair of goals, but those have come off slide packages and extra ball movement. So the Italians just kind of have to find their flow again. They haven't really faced much of a challenge. And it's the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship presented by Rady's Children's Hospital. Rated one of the best in the entire North America continent and one of the best on the West Coast. Rady Children's Hospital, where all your kids' needs are met. And they do an incredible job down there. Earlier in the week before the tournament started, some of the players from some of the teams that were in town early went over to Rady Children's Hospital, and they just put some sticks in kids' hands and let them shoot on a net and just teach them and show them what the game of lacrosse is and the creator's game and how special it can be in a time of healing and needing of medicine. And shout out to all the folks working over at Rady. It's an incredible group of people doing incredible work. Final minute and 10 seconds here in the half. Mark Darden with it for Jamaica. He'll give it off to Marcus Minichiello. Watched there by Jeff Traynor. That's been a nice matchup here. Stall is on for Kari Sears and the Jamaicans. Oh, sorry, it's not on. I thought they called a stall in the final minute. Darden. Picked up there by Pankani. Darden wants to go high side. Skips to Isaac Newland. Stutter step. Step back. Couldn't switch hands. Strong left is Isaac Newland. Danilo Parkinson. Watched there by Zach Cole. Now Stone Evans with 30. Evans pulling his defender all the way out to the corner. That's Bobby Russo. Evans gets to the middle. Avoids, takes the contact from big Zach Cole. Huge hit by Cole. 10 seconds remaining. Russo running. Takes a chop there from Stone Evans, and they call timeout. I think, yes. They're going to say Italy had possession when they called timeout with 6.5 to go. We'll see if they put any time back on the clock. But a heady play there by Will McNamara to get that timeout when Bobby Russo picked up that loose ball under duress from Stone Evans. Evans ran through 2 checks, and then the slide help came from Zach Cole, and that started the transition the other way for Italy. But as Cole tried to find Russo, he bobbled it. But upon recovering, McNamara, the Italian head coach, quickly calls for a timeout and a chance for them to get one back here late in the quarter. This is day 7 of the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship. It all started last Wednesday when the United States beat Canada 7-5. And we have made it through the entire group play. And now we're in the playoffs. There is a championship bracket of the top 14 teams, and that's where these 2 clubs fall. Canada and the USA get today off with a bye for finishing 1-2 in Pool A. And so these teams are playing for a chance to face the Canadians tomorrow in the quarterfinals. Not an easy task to look forward to, but one both of these country nations will revel in having. Here come the Italians. Sagizi, shot goes wide, and McPeak will escort it all the way out with 1.2 seconds remaining. And when we go to half, it'll be 4-2 Jamaica. 2 goals from Kari Sears, 1 from Stone Evans and 1 from Isaac Newland, and a pair of goals from Joseph Sajazi. Makes it 4-2 in the 7-10 playoff game from San Diego, California, 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship right here on ESPN. Welcome back to the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship presented by Rady Children's Hospital on the campus of San Diego State University for all the games today in the first day of the playoffs. Marquee matchup going on behind us a little bit later tonight as the Haudenosaunee will take on Hong Kong. It's 4-2 Jamaica leading Italy. The winner of this game gets Canada in the quarterfinals on Wednesday. Loser will move on to the loser's bracket, but teams will continue to play all the way through the end of the week with Championship Sunday gold and bronze game down at Snapdragon Stadium. Australia leading the Netherlands 7-4. That game is actually going on right behind us here on the main field, called the Sports Deck. A lovely little setup. The merch tents for all the countries are out here. Sponsors tents as well. A lot of people milling about. And again, the Haudenosaunee game coming up a little bit later tonight. We'll have a big turnout of fans. The Haudenosaunee always one of the fan favorites. But so are these Jamaicans and Italians. Great grouping of fans right below us. A couple hundred watching in attendance along field side. Here comes Italy trying to get this one back to within a 1-goal game. Cuccinello. Watched there by Danilo Parkinson. Cuccinello spins back, comes back to his preferred left hand, and he shot, and that's soaked in front by the Harrison De La Fera, a teammate of Scarpello. And now Tanner Sims spins away from trouble. Danilo Parkinson. As Stone Evans puts the stop sign up. Parkinson will go for a change. Isaac Newland will run bench side. And a late change coming from Antoine Campbell. Here's Mark Darden. Number 11 is Tanner Sims. Yet to find the back of the net here in this tournament. Sims with speed on Trainer. Goes through X. Kari Sears Oh, some of the players on Jamaica thought that went in. But DeLuca got just enough to keep this a 2-goal game. Again, the clock will run till the final 30 seconds unless there's an official's timeout. And then in the final minute of the fourth quarter will be stop time other than an official's timeout. We'll take a TV break under 8, but we still got 4 minutes and 44 seconds before we get there. The Italians with wins over Hong Kong, Mexico, Scotland, and Australia. The closest game was a 4-goal game against Mexico. They led 7-2 at halftime and cruised. They have really been cruising through the group stage. But this has been their toughest challenge to date, and they find themselves down a pair. Trasolini pushed out there by Joel Brown. Trasolini skipped it and was bobbled there by Sajizi. Goran Murray will find it. Sajizi on his back hip. And Murray will go all the way back to the goaltender, Nate McPeak. Chula Vista, California, 20 miles down the road at Eastlake High School. Attending Syracuse University. And he gives his defense a great job. Round of applause from his crease. Again, this is a monstrous defense, but now the task comes up to the Italian defense. What can they do? Is Jamaica trying to drive on Pancani, and then Marcus Minichiello a little too aggressive on that pick. You got to be completely stationary in World Lacrosse if you're going to set a pick. Any movement, and the officials have been calling it quite quickly here. Sajizi around the horn, and here come the Italians. Scarpello, top center, matched up there with Rob Kelly, the long stick midi. Now here's Gabriel Serbu. Serbu splits, goes to his right side, runs it through X. Sajizi. Piatelli, and now Trainer. Quick slide from Thomas through X. One more, and the ball was bobbled. De La Fera again, just unable to find the handle, but that was good movement by the Italians, sprinting through X and swinging it out the backside for a good look. De La Fera to X, tiptoes the crease, turns, long outside shot, bouncer, turned aside by McPeak. That was Serbu, number 7 in white, from Imola, Italy, and the University of Bologna. De La Fera, Villanova product. There's a heavy, hard outside shot that goes wide from Sajizi, who's all the way on the other side of the field. And Matthew Merritt, number 1 in black, might be feeling a bit of a pain in his midsection, just grabbing onto his upper leg a little bit. Here's Piatelli. Cuccinello. Trasolini back to Cuccinello. Watched by Rob Kelly. Cuccinello switches, swings, pass knocked down by Diallo. Great help there from Tony Diallo, the big long pole out of UMBC. And then a pass near side. Channing Thomas picks it up with a head of steam. Quickly up ahead, running. AJ Knox. And Kari Sears will put the brakes on. Low-scoring affair here between the Jamaicans and Italians, 4-2 on day 1 of the playoffs. Day 7 overall, the 2023 World Men's Lacrosse Championships. Minichiello. Danilo Parkinson splits to his left this time. Parkinson had his stick checked right at the last minute, and the shot goes out of play, backed up by Kari Sears. Here's Isaac Newland now. Darden. Parkinson. And Minichiello's got the short stick on him, number 5. That's Michelle Pancani. Minichiello comes high side, strong right. Skips it one more, Newland. Heavy shot, popcorn save by DeLuca. You're not going to beat Matt DeLuca high to high, stick side high very often, and he just Gobbled that one up. Now the Italians will go on a slow clear. Running is Serbu. Near side, Jeff Trainer. The red, white, and green dyed stickhead. That is a nice looking twig. Here's Sajeezy. The lone 2 goals for the Italians. Trazzolini. And he'll go back to Serbu on the far side, who started the break in his own zone. Serbu one-on-one with Minichiello. Serbu to the angle, through X. Driving is Piatelli. And now back up top, Trazzolini. Scarpello, Trazzolini, watched there by Diallo. Low to low, handled nicely there by McPeak. Read that one off the release. And then he's able to sprint away from Piatelli. Tough pass to Channing Thomas. Turnover here by the Italians. All alone inside, one-on-one with McPeak, and they score! Sajeezy with his 3rd. It's a 1-goal game. It's Joseph Sajeezy buries off the turnover from Nate McPeak. The first of the 3rd. Blood is drawn by the Italians. When we come back, 7 minutes remaining in the quarter. It's the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championships on ESPN. Back to Rady Field on the campus of San Diego State University. We talk about the depth of some of these countries and the growth that they're going. All other than Stone Evans, who's still in high school, everybody on this Jamaican team has found some sort of education in North America in the NCAAs and MSLs. Whereas for the Italians, they only have 7 guys who are American born and going to American schools, where most of these guys are true blue Italians and helping grow the game across the world. And now they find themselves in a 1-goal game with Jamaica with a chance to play Canada tomorrow evening. Scarpello, Trazzolini, and now near side Jeff Trainer. Trainer, watched there by Joel Brown, now picked up by Tanner Sims. Check that, that's Owen Stevenson. Stevenson on Trainer, gets his hands free, kicked aside, and a beautiful save there by McPeak. Loose ball, Goran Murray. He's going to run, legging away from his check of Jeff Trainer. Goran Murray to Sears. Shot, put it wide, backed up by the Jamaicans. Good look by Sears there in transition. No one rotated to him, so he did the right thing, planted his feet, reared back, and took the shot. Under 6 to play in the 3rd quarter. Thanks for joining us. My name's Teddy Jenner. Been great communicating with all of you on Twitter who are tuning in watching this one. You can find me there at Teddy Jenner. On pretty much every other social media site you can find me. There's Stone Evans. Spin back. And some patience here from the Jamaicans. They try to balance the field. There's Josh McLaughlin. Evan Redwood. Wife and daughter watching back home. McLaughlin will settle and carry to the far side as he picks up the long pole. Check of Roberto Antinoli. Kari Sears with a short stick, drives underneath. What a finish! What a goal! And if that's Kari Sears, that's the hat trick marker for number 8. And like we've seen all tournament long from the Jamaicans, just using their speed as he's able to get underneath Pankani, and then great dexterity just to keep his feet and then bring everything back to his strong hand. And it was Kari Sears with the hat trick goal, as he matches Joseph Sajeezy with 3 for the respective teams. Back to a 2-goal game with 4 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. 2 has been the biggest lead so far, and it's been by the Jamaicans 3 times. It was 2-0, then 2-1, then 3-1, 3-2, 4-2, 4-3, now 5-3. Here's Sajazi with the hat trick. Can the Italians get any other scoring from someone in white and blue? With speed off the bench is Serbu. Serbu pushed down to the line. And Serbu will go bench side to Trasolini. Trasolini. Rutgers Scarlet Knight. And now to Serbu. '22 in white is John Piatelli. NLL all-rookie team this year with the Albany Firewolves. He averaged 3.56 goals per game in 2022 at Cornell. Shot outside, save McPeak. That one was out of the stick of Sajazi looking for his 4th. And if the internet didn't lie to me, that 3.56 goals per game in 2022 for Piatelli led the nation in goals per game average. And he's got 21 points here in 4 games at the World Championships. Jamaican in the offensive zone with Mark Darden. Bodies changing for both as they run through the midfield. And on comes some fresh legs. Minichiello, one of them. And then the extra man is Tanner Sims. Minichiello watched by Pancano. Minichiello shot, scores! He beat DeLuca stick side. And then a late flag coming as Steven Pelliccioni laid the hit on Marcus Minichiello. And it's finally the first 3-goal game of this contest. And it comes on the stick of Minichiello as he runs right past Pancani. And there you see the hit by Pelliccioni on Minichiello with 1:24 and counting here in the quarter. And I believe it'll be a free possession for Jamaica as the penalty came after the goal. So not only did they make it a 3-goal game as we close in on a minute remaining in the quarter, they get possession right back and a chance for a 2-for-1 essentially. It's Kari Sears. They run it through X with Stone Evans. Newland. Sears. McLaughlin. X with Evans. Skip pass picked off nicely by Jeff Traynor. And then Traynor runs through a hold. Flag coming. Traynor gets a swim move past McLaughlin. Traynor continues to run. And then a nice inside fake and a shot and a stick save by McPeak as Harrison Delafera got his best scoring opportunity of this game. 21.9 remaining. Clock stops under 30 in the quarter. And there's still time on the Italian penalty, so it will be 5-on-5 for a brief moment here. And it's starting in the far corner with Cuccinello. Trasolini is just going to hold on to the clock and try to give the Italians possession to start the 4th quarter. Possession with penalty time being served means possession to start the next quarter. And the Italians will have it down 3. Jamaicans have 3 from number 8, Kari Sears. Joseph Sajazi has 3 for the Italians. But what can they do to get back in this game? 4th quarter action coming. You're watching the World Lacrosse Men's Championships presented by Rady's Children's Hospital on ESPN. Sun's out, guns out down at the beach. And we got some sunshine and heat going on here at San Diego State University. You're watching the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship, sponsored by Rady Children's Hospital, the largest children's hospital in the West Coast, and ranked among the top 10 in the entire nation. My name is Teddy Jenner. Thanks for joining us. 15 minutes of regulation left between Jamaica and Italy. Jamaica up 6-3. The winner gets Canada tomorrow night. The Italians will start with it. They got to start showing a little ferocity in going to the cage, down 3 in what has been a very stingy Jamaican defense all tournament. Nate McPeak just giving up 4.5 goals a game. Trasolini down the side, thought about it, takes a heavy hit, knocked to the turf by Danilo Parkinson. Now a flag is down. And Parkinson tries to one-hand swim, and what's the call here? 1 minute unsportsmanlike conduct coming, and I think that might be going to Big 15 Christian Trasolini. Might have had some words for the official after getting knocked to the turf by Danilo Parkinson. So the clock will run as we get a look here, and Parkinson just, you might call it a cross-check, but that's a defensive play that's made on every single alley dodge in field lacrosse. And so here comes Jamaica. Newland on the far side, splits to the middle, gets his hands free. Nice save there by DeLuca. Got a piece and out of play. And another flag down. And it looks like this one's going to Italy as well. Illegal procedure on the Italians, 30-second technical, so be a bit of a lengthy 6-on-4 here for the Jamaicans. Stone Evans, and we'll start with it in the far corner. Newland, Minichiello, Sears. Tanner Sims through Evans at X. Newland, Darden, Sears, Minichiello fills the middle. Evans at X. Evans inside, Minichiello scores! What a finish! What a pass from the youngster, Stone Evans. Just as the penalty was expiring. And Minichiello's got a pair. It's a 4-goal game. Watch the patience from Stone Evans. Minichiello working hard in the middle. The slide comes. Minichiello goes to the back door. And just a seeing eye pass from Stone Evans. And Minichiello's second of the game. The clock continues to run with 12 and a half and a 4-goal lead for Jamaica. Jamaica beat Germany 5-3. Switzerland 10-5, Poland 6-4, and then New Zealand 10-6 in their final game of the round robin. In that game, they had 3 goals against in the last 5 minutes. So they are, and they do have some propensity to give up some late goals, get a little too ahead of themselves. Inside feed, shoots, and they score. What a look, what a finish. Piatelli in traffic. And that is a massive goal for the Italians. The first one other than Joseph Sajazi with a goal. And this is just a great upfield cut by John Piatelli. Off the split was Sajazi, and Piatelli using that box experience to take contact inside. As he's able to bury it past Nate McPeak for the 4th Italian goal of the game. Vitelli wins the draw cleanly to himself, and then will flip it back to Jeff Traynor. And both face-off men will head for a change. Traynor on the split of Parkinson. 14-6 Australia over the Netherlands in the 4th quarter. And there's another goal! Traynor with his first of the game, and quickly The Italians have scored back-to-back goals and are back within 2. And Jeff Traynor just doing it all on his own. Gets around Danilo Parkinson, then beats McPeak far side. And it's now 7-5, a 2-goal game with 10.5 to play. And now some confusion here. The Jamaican draw team. And they got to hurry up and get people in position. And Jamaica's forced to call a timeout. That's not going to make Coach Mark Wilson happy. Burning a timeout because you're not set on the field and people not sure where to go. So a 2-goal run here by the Italians has them back in this game. We talked about their propensity to score goals, 60 in 4 games. They also led the tournament in assists with 38, and they were second with 90 shots on goal and a 44.8 shooting percentage. Also first in ground balls, and a lot of that comes from Will Vitelli winning the faceoff so often. But now every faceoff and every loose ball has that much more importance to it. Again, the winner of this game gets Canada. The loser falls to the loser's bracket and will have to continue to battle out as the winner plays Canada tomorrow afternoon. I believe 4 o'clock is that game down at Torero Stadium, about 10 miles, 15 miles down the road from San Diego State. All the quarterfinal games, or the quarterfinal games with Canada and Australia, the United States will be there. I believe the other 2 quarterfinals, which will involve the 3 and the 4 seed, barring they make it there, Australia and the Haudenosaunee, will be here on campus at SDSU at the Sports Deck. And then the semifinals and finals will be played at the Big House, Snapdragon Stadium. Owen Stevenson will take this draw for the Jamaicans. And I can't quite see who that is trying to take it for Italy. That's number 27, Zach Cole. And they're going to call procedure on Cole, possession to Jamaica. Up 2, under 10 to play. Kari Sears, he's got 3. Give him 11 in the tournament. Now Josh McLaughlin. Evan Redwood, Newland. As the Jamaicans again going to try to use some clock and wind this game down a bit, but can't just sit on your heels. Newland gets inside, blocked by a defender, ball on the turf. Newland has it, heavily pressured, takes a couple massive chops from Bobby Russo, and then wisely runs to space. McLaughlin, good job there by Isaac Newland under the heavy duress of Bobby Russo. Now A.J. Knox being watched there by Traynor. Knox splits to his right again. Denied again by Traynor. Does he want to try it a third time? This time he'll carry down the alley and move it to Kari Sears. Sears runs through the poke check of Miloradovic. Stone Evans at X. X is where Bobby Russo patrols the back end. And now again, Jamaica moving around. Be interesting to see if the referees put it on. They do. Stall warning given. Got to keep it in the box now. 22.5 yards plus the end line, so about 30.5 yards of space to play north to south. Very good. 60 east to west? But still, lots of space for these guys to run. And just holding on to it, X is Kari Sears. Now he'll run, take a shot, save DeLuca, ball up, flag down. And Kari Sears just kind of lulling his defender to sleep and was able to get topside and draw the flag. When we come back, the Jamaicans will have the man advantage up to 7:49 to go in the 7-10 matchup. This is day one of the playoffs, day 7 overall of the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship from San Diego on ESPN. Let's look at Kari Sears as the Jamaicans head on the field for the EMO. He's got the hat trick today, 11 in the tournament. Out of Columbus, Ohio, and the University of Massachusetts Lowell. 7:45 to go. Jamaicans leading Italy by a pair. Parkinson to Evans at X. Isaac Newland. Darden back to Newland. Evans at X again. Minichiello occupying the middle of the field. Short hop pass there to Danilo Parkinson. Pressure comes from the Italian defense. And the penalty is released, so no shots on the EMO again. Newland, he'll shoot. And it might have deflected off someone inside. It looks like Stone Jacobs took a bit of a knock on the ankle. We haven't seen Matt Merritt return since the third quarter. Went to Dean's College, was an NJCAA All-Star before transferring to UDC to play for Scott Urich. Hopefully he's going to be okay. It might just be a precautionary holdback for Matt Merritt, number 0. Here's Mark Darden. Darden with a short stick matchup, but is just content to sit with it. So watch there by David Abbott, number 18 in white with blue trim. Now Isaac Newland, hounded by Zach Cole, ball pops free. Good man ball there by the Jamaicans. The stall is on. So Newland trying to go hard. Zach Cole, heavy slap checks. And another. Swings. Parkinson, shot. Short side on the outside of the net. Some fans thought that went in. Even I thought for a split second. Might have snuck past DeLuca, and then the outlet eludes Stephen Pelliccioni. And an unforced error with under 6 to play. Here's Kari Sears. Gives it off to Stone Evans. Again, just 17 years old, has another year of high school before he continues on to the Air Force Academy. He is a verbal commit. And now he's being pressured there by Stephen Pelliccioni. Stall is on. Evans going to run right past Pelliccioni. Skipped it to Parkinson. One more Darden. And again, Jamaicans just no real urgency, nor do they need it. No shot clock. Stall is on, but they can just continue to run. Now here comes a double from the Italian D. Newland. Parkinson, bounce shot, easily handled there by DeLuca. Quickly up the other way, running is Italy. Bobby Russo, ball loose on the turf. Russo ends up on the turf, still trying to fight for this loose ball. Eventually picked up by David Abbott. And a timeout to the Italians with 4:43 remaining. Good loose ball battle through the midfield. Bodies colliding, sticks, working overtime. And now the Italians able to come away with possession. These are the types of loose ball battles you need to win if you're going to come back in this game for Italy. Russo knocked to the turf, gets right back up, continues working for the loose ball, knocks it into the open field, and then eventually picked up by Abbott and a quick timeout by McNamara, the Italian head coach. So 4:43 remaining, official stoppage of the clock here with the timeout. And then the only other time this will stop will be in the final minute of play unless there is another official's timeout. Oftentimes that comes with multiple penalties or an unset field. But this will be a frantic final 4 and change. You're watching the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship from San Diego, California. Use that hashtag WLMC or hashtag San Diego 2023 if you want to be interactive with everybody here at the tournament. You can also follow at World Lacrosse for updates, highlights, and more. And you can get at me on Twitter at Teddy Jenner. Italians back out on the offensive side of the ball, and the Jamaicans just talking through their matchups. And it's going to be Rob Kelly picking up Jeff Traynor right off the whistle. And a nice pick set there by De La Fera to get Traynor on the short stick. Traynor, shot, save McPeak, loose ball. Initially picked up by the Jamaicans, but the Italians caused the turnover. De La Fera, Cuccinello. On the far side is Joseph Segesi, who's got the hat trick here tonight. Through X, Piatelli. Up top, Trasolini! Italian heat from the big midi. And it's a one-goal game with 4 minutes to go. As Trasolini absolutely smoked that one past McPeak. All starts with Piatelli driving at X. And then the skip pass and the step down. And that is textbook. From back of the net to top of the net to in the net. And with 3.5 to go, the Italians are still in it, down 1. Huge face-off here. Vitelli and Stevenson. Vitelli wins it. Stevenson with a trail check and another timeout called by the Italians. Will McNamara heavy on the officials, knowing when his team needs a timeout, as it looked like Vitelli was going to lose possession on the slap check from Owen Stevenson, but the timeout comes with 3:20 remaining. Hope you're enjoying this one because it has been, as billed, a tight defensive battle with some incredible offensive flair. And 6 ties for the most goals given up by the Jamaicans so far this tournament. They gave up 6 in their last game to New Zealand. And as we mentioned, there was 3 goals scored by New Zealand in the final 5 minutes. So call them garbage time goals maybe if you want. But it just goes to show this Jamaican team sometimes can let a team back in. And now they got to find a way to shut the door here with 3:20 remaining and the Italians pressing with possession. And the Italians have never led in this game. They were down 2-0 early as Kari Sear scored back-to-back goals before Joseph Segesi got his first of 3 on the afternoon. Australia and Netherlands still doing battle right behind us. There's another game going on over at Wolf Stadium, I believe. 15-7, the Australians leading the Netherlands. And again, the winner of this game gets Canada tomorrow night. 3:15 remaining. Here come the Italians. De La Fera to Piatelli at X. Watched by Tony Diallo. Piatelli to the island. Diallo turns him back. Skip pass. Cuccinello. He's watched there by Goran Murray. Cuccinello gets the corner, takes the shot, deflects off a body, and good job by Cuccinello to find that loose ball and goose it to Piatelli. Trasolini thought about it. Piatelli at X. Cuccinello, shot, saved McPeak, might have got a piece of it, and running out to get it. No, they don't give possession to Jamaica. And down with a cramp is the Jamaican defender who laid out to try to run out that chase. And I'm just trying to see who that is. Might be Channing Thomas, number 4, who immediately grabbed his leg on the cramp. And as the trainer heads out, we get a bit of a stoppage and play here. On that Jamaican coaching staff, Mark Wilson, Keith Subrati, and Dylan Hennenberg the brother of Jules Hennenberg. And those men doing great work in the community with the Black Lacrosse Alliance, trying to bring more youth into the game of lacrosse. As the trainer continues to work on Channing Thomas, Rob Kelly will come in for the Jamaicans to take his spot. It has been hot all week, and this is really the first sign of anybody cramping I've seen throughout this tournament. But it looks like Channing Thomas will be able to run this one off, and hopefully they can get him quickly hydrated and back in this game, because that is a big loss on the back end for the Jamaicans. Possession will start in the near corner here with John Piatelli. He's watched by Tony Diallo. Piatelli to goal line extended to the 45. Jump shot. Good defense, Diallo. And it'll go out of bounds. Backed up by Joseph Sajizi. Sajizi spins on Kari Sears. Loses possession. Ball rolling toward the sidelines. Parkinson dives. And then it's floated to Cuccinello. Cuccinello swings it far side. Piatelli, hands free, shot, sails wide. Knocked down by Sears, and it'll go out of play, a minute 50 remaining. Zajazi can't turn the corner. Double team comes from Kelly. Outside shot just sails over the top. No backup. Possession, Jamaica. McPeak was out of his net. He'll float it up to Rob Kelly at the 25. And Kelly will go back to McPeak. This is some dicey play by the Jamaicans, up a goal with 75 seconds left. Again, they don't have any limit to get it over center. Now Murray in trouble. He's got McPeak, and he'll go there, and McPeak has to extend for that one. 10-man ride here for the Italians. McPeak running. Long pass up ahead, Stone Evans. And Evans will sprint to space, and a timeout called by Mark Wilson and the Jamaicans. 1 minute remaining. Great job by the Italians on the 10-man ride, extending DeLuca out of the net, trying to match feet. But it was Stone Evans running to space, and about a 75-yard pass from McPeak right to Stone Evans, and immediately Mark Wilson calls timeout. Catch your breath. Get a sip of water. We've got a frantic final 61 seconds coming here from Rady Field on the campus of SDSU. This is the World Lacrosse Men's Championship, sponsored by Rady Children's Hospital. Voted one of the 10 best on the West Coast and one of the best in all of North America. What do the Italians do here down a goal? I would imagine you'll see Russo on the ball. Antonioli might be getting the assignment as well. But who do the Jamaicans give possession to? It's often Kari Sears, the speedster, who's had to leg these ones out late in contests for the Jamaicans, and it looks like he's heading towards the ball now. And it's going to be Jeff Traynor with a long pole in his hands, coming out alongside Russo, and they're going to double the ball right away with 2 long poles. And they will lock off everywhere else. And DeLuca will kind of play cat and mouse with Stone Evans behind his net. But he's got to stay in his net for now as possession top center of the field with Kari Sears. He'll run past Traynor to space. Stall is on. Got to keep it in the box. Double team comes. Flag down. Ball down. And another flag thrown on the Italians. Kari Sears heated up after a couple extra slashes. But the Jamaicans will hold possession. I think there's 2 penalties coming here to Jeff Traynor. There's the first one. And then another one late. And Traynor will sit for the rest of this game with 51.9 remaining. Stone Evans will pick up possession here for Jamaica. DeLuca out of his net. Stone Evans running, spins away from trouble. Goes behind the net, pass, bobbled. Loose ball, DeLuca. 40 remaining, possession, Italy down a man. Running is Russo. Strip check, Vitelli. Check that, 18, Abbott. Trasolini, under 30 to go. Piatelli, far side corner, watched by Tony Diallo. Late man out of the change box. That's Delafera. Through X. Tony Diallo on his man. One more up top. Outside shot, save McPeak. And he'll chuck at the length of the field to DeLuca. He has it. And Jamaica will play the Canadians in the quarterfinals. What a save by Nate McPeak at the end. An incredible opportunity for the Italians. A mob of black and green surround Nate McPeak as we get a look at the final shot here. An outside blast from Sajazi, the man who had 3. His 4th would have tied things up if not for Nate McPeak. What a game between these two countries. The Jamaicans stay perfect at 5-0. The first loss of the tournament for the Italians. They'll both move on, but it's the Jamaicans who will get the marquee matchup with Team Canada in the quarterfinals of the World Lacrosse Men's Championship. My name's Teddy Jenner. Appreciate you stopping by and being interactive with me all game long. Again, you can find me on Twitter at Teddy Jenner. Follow the tournament at World Lacrosse. It was a fast one from start to finish. The Jamaicans jumped out to a 2-0 lead early. They would trade goals for much of the game, but the Italians fought back to get within 1. But Mount McPeak from right down the road in Chula Vista, California, saves the day, and Jamaica advances. Thanks for tuning in here. The World Lacrosse Championships on ESPN. Until we speak again, stay safe and be excellent to each other.